my absolute worst case scenario backup plan is like, I'd love to. My ultimate backup plan is if I can't get a job, can you check the string? See what's up. Like my ultimate backup plan.
Can you press this button on?
Office work here.
The
I
second
mean, it
one.
wouldn't be ideal.
Oh, shoot.
But
JavaScript wouldn't be hard.
better than
It's whatever.
no
Well,
job. Yeah, that's all I'll put it in the Discord.
There's just no other JavaScript and Java different.
is it live?
Yeah.
Alright. You can start whenever you want, Alame.
Alright, no problem.
We could give it a second if you want. Wait till more people join. It's up to you.
I'm going for that. Yeah. I'm really interested in classes. I think quicker classes are good. I can kind of catch up and I don't myself, so I feel with Arch a little bit, so.
So we're gonna start in 5 minutes. The time we wait for people to join.
And the microphone is your computer.
Yeah, that's gonna be my computer, sir.
Is there a giveaway after this?
Huh?
We can giveaway today or no?
I don't have time to really plan
Okay.
much.
No, I just wanted to know because I'm reusing the last message and I sent one to take it out. That was the most my creative mind.
I just have to set up like impromptu, like
Actually, no, it's, see how it's cut a little bit? Yeah, you're good to change whatever. I'm the only one watching the stream right now.
Okay. Oh, it's because of this. This isn't showing.
It's desktop, Adam.
How are you forcing it?
What's better than display capture? Maybe window capture?
If you did window capture, it would likely only be just what, like whatever web browser is set up to,
Well, I was gonna put it on just Zoom. Yeah.
yeah, either that or just a slide deck.
Why is it showing me like little?
Yep, there's two other people on the screen now.
Okay.
I can see Olame's face on the screen.
Yeah, no, that's weird. Let me see. Delete.
Olame cheesing up on the screen.
Let me see. Video capture device. Scene.
Two more minutes and we start.
Is it still crop?
Yeah.
What if I tried to window and manual? So annoying. Cause it's like this red box, right? Can I try maybe just doing this?
Make a check.
Gotta fill like the whole screen in there. Now go look.
It's different. I think you might have it now. Let me see.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, this one.
Alright, Alana, we're good to go whenever you are.
All right, no problem.
You want to follow those
Like
Yeah.
All right, so 609. I guess we can start now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first Google Cloud Platform workshop. My name is Olame Akimuliri, and I'm the GDSC Networking and Cloud Lead. So, first of all, the first question we're gonna ask ourselves today would be, what is Google Cloud Platform? So usually the approach will be, hey, if I'm not sure about the answer, I'm gonna go and proceed with a couple guesses. And there we go. Sorry about that. So the guesses will be, okay, so I have 3 words, which is Google Cloud Platform. And the first guess will be, hey, I know Google, and Google is one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And that's true, right? The second one would be, okay, so let's go for the cloud. I've been using Google Cloud. I've been using OneDrive. I've been using Google Drive and also iCloud. And what they have in common will be probably storage. And you'll be, okay, my guess will be cloud. It's going to be more about storage. And the next thing will be, so I have only platform remain there. So what's going to go? So what's going on with platform? So the guess will be, okay, so what if we say that platform is just an environment given to you so you can host a service? And then next will be, okay, I think I got everything. Is there anything I'm missing? But the question will be, is there everything? And then the answer will be, no. So from that, you're going to be, okay, so you say no, Akeem, so I'm not sure about where you're going with this. So what is more about cloud? So I'm going to tell you, the first approach will be just to jump on Google and go and make just a quick search and say, hey, what's up, Google? What is a cloud? And here are 2 answers I found there. So the first one will be by the NASA, and the second one will be by Wikipedia. And they both say pretty much the same thing. And when you look at it, they're going to tell you like, a cloud is a mass of water drops or ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere. They're pretty much say the same thing. But at this point, NASA is not wrong. Neither Wikipedia. But the only thing is, we're looking for something computer oriented. So we have to change our query and go ahead and say, hey, Google, what is a cloud in computer science? And here's a good answer I found. When it comes to cloud computing, they say cloud computing is the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially cloud storage and computing power. So by this definition, we're gonna come and find out that we're not completely wrong. We had something without a couple guesses, so we can go around with that. And here, I want you to focus on those 3 words, computer, system, and resources. So usually I can take an example like you going to Best Buy to buy a computer. You get there, you have a couple requirements you have you have on your list, and you're like, okay, I know the computer I'm looking for is going to be a 256, 500 gigabyte, or 1 terabyte. All that, they're more like specs. That's how we call them. But it's more like something that, about the resource that your computer has. Principally, it's going to be your storage resources. And when you come to computing power, that when you're going to go, hey, I need an i5, i7, i9, and you're going to go like even why not M1, M2, and M1 Pro. And all those are resources that you're going to find just in one computer. And talking about resources now, today we will be talking about Google Cloud Platform. And the resources, we talked about the storage. What else? uh, a cloud can offer you. So here's something I want you to pay attention to. You're gonna have to understand the main types of cloud-based services. And on this table, you're gonna see everything that will be colored in gray will be everything that will be managed by the service provider. And that's gonna be AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform, which is what we're here for today. And everything that's gonna be colorful, like yellow, green, red, and blue, those gonna be handled by yourself. So you're gonna be the one managing it. I want you to pay attention on the first column, the on-site one, the blue one. You're gonna realize they tell you like, hey man, you have to take care of the application, the data, the runtime, the middleware, operating system, virtualization, servers, storage, and networking. That's a lot. And a couple people are gonna tell me like, hey Akeem, that's not a lot. I've been running a web server on my computer using a couple Python scripts. So that should be it. And when you look at community or a project you want to work and build up, you need a lot more resources than something that you can have on your local computer. And let's say you're building an app, you're gonna need storage to store all the data. You're gonna go again at Walmart or whatever to get a hard drive. After that, you're gonna realize you need like terabytes of it. You're gonna get like a RAID array. After that, you're gonna get servers, and that's how you're building. And your room's gonna be full of hardware stuff and things like that. You're gonna be building up on heat, like fire hazard. You have to pay your bills. Try to go and get like a bigger space to put all your stuff there. And only God knows, probably you're gonna end up having a whole data center for yourself. So on this one, so the clouds will be coming and saying like, hey man, we want to share responsibility. I can take care of the big part of it, and you can go with the other stuff, whatever you feel comfortable with. So you're gonna see the first one there, you're gonna have infrastructure as a service. You're gonna see like probably Google is gonna come and say like, hey, you know, we're gonna take care of the operating system, the virtualization, the server, the storage, and the networking. So the other stuff, you can take care of it if you want. But if you want another option, they can come and say like, you know what, you can only do application and data, and then we take care of everything. And that's gonna be for the platform as a service. Or the other option you're gonna have is gonna be for the software as a service. And usually what you can have is when you're using, for example, Gmail, or you're using Google Doc or Google Slide. We all connected to one server, and you can get information when you want. You can see you all working on one slide, you editing, and everybody is looking at it and can see what you're changing, and also we can be talking. So it's pretty much about it. But here you're gonna see we try to break down all the resources, but here the question will be, okay, so Google Cloud, what are the resources they do have? And let me tell you, they have a lot. All of these. So you can have things like the API for the map. You can have like the compute, the storage, the database. You can have a lot of them. So, and this is not even everything. That's most of it. And to make it easy for you, because I don't want you to have like everything in your head, you just go for what you need. So you can put it this way and say, okay, we have compute, data transfer, Internet of Things, more like your Google Home and everything, management tool. We're gonna come and go through it in a little bit. Big data, cloud, AI, and all those stuff. There are a lot. And looking at this, you'll be like, hey, Akeem, I think it's still a little bit complicated. Can you try to make it very simple for me? So I can try to put it this way. How about this? I think it's kind of a good breakdown. So you're gonna have like compute, storage, machine learning, big data, and also the application session. So those are like everything you saw. We put them in just little body, and you have a big group for everything there. So this being said, we can move on and we can start talking about the lab we're gonna do today, which is one of them. And we're gonna do a tour of the Google Cloud, and that's gonna be hands-on. And before getting there, I have to talk to you about this one. The Google Cloud resource and hierarchy. It's very important when you wanna go and play around with everything that is cloud over there. And you're gonna realize you have levels. Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. The organization, the folder, the project, and resources. The way you can look at them is you can have an organization like LSU. Down you have departments, which gonna be like more like the folders. And then after that, every department can be working on multiple projects at the same time. And from the project, every project needs a resource. And we're gonna come there pretty soon. And the next thing is just an illustration of what I've been talking about. You have the organization. For the department, you have the legal, finance, and HR, and then everything with their resources. So the way you're gonna understand, so I must say, the main thing here is to focus on the roles and policies. And that's because when you go with this hierarchy, everything is inherited from the parent to children. So if you put like roles and policies at the level of organization node, everything will be inherited to all the child. And usually for security, when it comes to that, we need to give the least privilege. So you don't have to give like admin access to everybody. Imagine like at LSU, they give admin access to everybody here. I'm gonna tell you, I'll be the first one to go there and exempt myself for all tuitions. So that what I have been thinking about it. So here we have the roles and services and everything there. So for the roles and policies, so I mentioned something about management tool and everything. So don't worry, we got you on that one. We have something that manage everything like that, and we call it IAM. And that's gonna be the identity and access management. That's gonna be the tool that's gonna tell you pretty much who can do what on which resource. So if you wanna be a reader, it's gonna tell you like, hey, you know, this guy's gonna be a reader only. This guy's gonna be an editor. This one's gonna be like an admin. You can do everything you want. That's the owner. Yeah. So this being said, let's set up the environment now. All right. So for it, I have a link right here, which is gonna be the Google Skill Boost Good. We go over
Make
there.
sure y'all open it up
Yeah.
in an incognito tab, because you don't want to be signed in.
Yeah.
So you can tell them that too.
Yeah, so you can do it like in incognito tab, and also because you need to be
Signed out.
signed out, you have to make sure you're signed out.
Can I see
So-
the link again?
The link, let me put it right here.
I'll put the link in the screen chat too.
So it's gonna be Cloud Skills Boosts.Google.
Thank you.
All right, good? All right. So the first thing is you have to make sure that you logged out. And that's the main thing. That's why I opened this first. You have to make sure that you're not logged in. We're gonna come back to this very soon because there is another link we're gonna have to use. And that's gonna be this one. And this one, what it's gonna do, it's gonna go and check on what we were in, try to make sure nobody is logged in, and then open a new prompt for you.
By the way, we have the chat. So if there's
You have it in the
questions-
chat? All right, that's cool.
If there's anything, I'll let you know.
Thank you. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to take this. There we go. So when you get here, you're gonna have everything here about what we're gonna do today. But what I want you to go to will be to create and manage cloud resources. When you click to enroll, it's gonna ask you for a key. So Adam, let me send you the key so
Yeah,
you
we
can.
have the key.
You have the key?
We're gonna share it in the.
You gonna
YouTube
share it?
live
All right,
chat,
cool.
And then.
I
y'all
can just-
copy it from the board, I guess, or the YouTube live chat. Either way.
Let me copy this.
Oh wait, no, you missed the one else.
I'm not a robot.
Alright, codes and screen chat.
All right. So, everybody online, if you want, you can check the screen chat, and you can have the code over there. So make sure you tell them that you're not a robot,
It's in the YouTube stream.
I'm hiding the stream. Do you have it there?
Yeah.
and you go ahead, you submit.
Yeah, I'll put it in the, do you have Discord open?
You could let them know that.
Yeah.
About like the benefits.
Oh yeah. For the benefit, so the code we use today is gonna be you just have access to it today only, and the one thing is when you finish the lab, you gonna have access to it for 30 days, and every time you finish a lab, they give you another 30 days on top of it, so you can go through everything. If you're pretty good, like going through all the labs, you can be getting like a lot of days, and you can experience a lot and learn a lot with it. That's a good thing that Google does for us, and that's a good thing of attending the workshops, right? Oh,
Has everyone managed to like get the enroll code and insert it?
I haven't.
You haven't? Are you on the YouTube live by any chance?
Yeah, I just pulled it up.
all right.
Yeah, I kind of just realized they ran into this issue in the past with like links because you can't necessarily like click a link
Oh, yeah.
on the screen, you know?
What if you send a link in the Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, which links do you need? All of them?
Not the one that's not the cloud skills one.
The quick labs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all need that one. We'll just give it some time.
Are y'all in,
Yeah.
are y'all in the GDSC Discord? I'm gonna put it in the Cloud Study Jam chat. All right, they should be in the Discord now.
Should we get? All right. And also, it's all good because on the slides, I believe we're gonna share them afterward. Yeah. On the slide, I have all the steps, but for the code, it's gonna be only today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with the first lab right there, which is gonna be just a tour. We're gonna go through all the steps and see what is inside there. All right.
Which one do we select? Which one do we select?
It's gonna be. Oh, you have first to enroll in this quest. Sorry. So when you click enroll, you have to make sure you put your credentials right there.
So is it any Gmail account?
So it can be your Gmail, personal, or whatever. So the one you'll be using.
Okay.
So for me, I'm gonna use.
One that we need to go to NACA video tab. We're gonna sign in.
So you're gonna sign in, but the one thing is we don't want to store the credential because when you get into the lab, you're not using your credential right here. So what we're doing right now is to get all the 30 days credit for access to the labs, because when you want to access a lab, they generate for you credentials. So you have to be signed in, so it's gonna recognize, hey, he paid for it, or he already has credit to access all the labs.
So I can't click sign in with Google.
So you can do that.
Alright.
Yeah, sure.
So basically, just that the code we have is just gonna like sync to our Gmail account.
Yeah.
for the month.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So Here we go. So we're gonna go back here for a quick second. These are the steps we took. All right. Lost my tab. Here. Okay. So you can go ahead and click Start the Lab. So you're gonna realize when you click Start the Lab, they're gonna generate for you a couple credentials. So you're gonna have the student here and everything there. It's kind of too long there. And then you're gonna have the password and the project ID. So what happened here is because they want to put you like in a discovery mode. So to make sure that you don't break anything where you're gonna go. Because Google Cloud Platform, it's a pretty powerful environment. So you can do everything you want in it, just your money. All right, so right now we're gonna have like a pretty controlled environment with couple access, and that's why we have those credentials right here. So what I want you to do is to go and click open Google Console, and when you open it, go to use another account, and that one you're gonna use the credentials they provided you with right here. So you're gonna have to copy your username and pass it here. And also they give you also the passwords. You copy it and you take it right there. Of course, I understand I have to go through it. And here we go. So you have to agree, no way around it. And here we end. So what we have here, you're gonna realize you have the whole panel right here. You're gonna have a couple informations about the project you're doing here, like the project ID, the project number, and also the project name. So right now it's pretty random because they've been generated. And usually when you create your own project, you're gonna have to give a name of your choice and also everything like that. So over here, you have a panel where they give you like most of the things like API, billing. Here you have the IM, the one that manages all identity and also the main management tool. So you also have compute for all the tools over there. And what we're gonna need to do right now would be to go through the 3 bars there and view all products. So when you open here, you can see like everything that you have, all the product, depending on the category you have there. And what we want to focus on right now to see what's going on will be the IM and admin right here. So we're gonna try to see how permissions are inside there and everything like that. So if you lost, you just let me know, right? All right, so at this point, you're gonna realize these are all the accounts we have here, and you're gonna see roles over here. For example, here you have the owner right there, Admiral. So you're gonna see also here another account that has like the BigQuery, who is the BigQuery admin, the storage admin, and owner. And if you look at this one here, student something there, that's us. And we're only editor and viewer. So what we can do pretty much is just go around and edit a couple information when it comes to the setting. We most of the time you won't be able to delete things, but you can just use it like that. But when you create your own VM or things like that, you have full ownership on it. The same way like when you buy your computer, You have full ownership. You can do everything you want on it. So, and then after that, I want you to go right in computer engine, right? If you click there, you have here VM instances. When you open it, you can see like everything there. They can tell you, hey, do you want to enable it? Do you want to try an API? Do you want to do whatever? So because you have a lot of stuff that is going on right here, you can get APIs. As we saw, when you have like Google Map and everything, you can go there, grab an API, connect it to your lab and everything, and you keep going, right? So, and then also over here, we're going to have a search bar. And I want you to look for, where is the name of the API again? The dialog flow.
It's at the bottom of the marketplace.
Marketplace.
And then type dialog.
So let's do this. We go here, we navigate right here. We go APIs and services. We go to library. So we just narrow our thing. And we have here dialog flow API. So if you don't see it right there, you can just try. And if you don't see it right there, you can just go ahead and research it in the search bar right here. You should be able to see it as well, right? So when you click on it, you got a couple things you can do with it. You can enable it, or you can try it. Let's try to enable it. All right. So when you enable it and everything, I want you to go back here and check on the status of it. So you just go back. So if it doesn't work straight, you just research it once again and open it. And you're gonna see here, the API has been enabled. So what you're gonna realize, all the resources we're taking, they cost money. And you can see it down here, the pricing. So we have a couple things, and Google is so nice. It just give you things for free just to learn and everything like that. And the good thing about the Cloud Gem is you can have access to these for 30 days when you complete the lab, right? So the next thing will be to go ahead and just look at what we have out there, and that's gonna be it. So we checked on the IMI, we checked on the APIs, and we also saw like the resources we have. Just understand, right now we're just going around this. We're gonna use all these tools when we're gonna go to our next lab today, right? So it just like showing you the way around. So what we do, you go back to here, and you have a couple questions there to answer sometime. Submit, and you have just to check your progress. So you have to check your progress for everything you did. For example, we went through the API thing, so you have a check progress right there. And then also you're gonna have also I think that's gonna be the only one we have when it comes to check progress. Just give me a second. Yeah, that's gonna be the only one. So at this point, we already went through, we made a tour, we saw what Google has inside, the interface, and how we can navigate through it. So the next thing is you end the lab, you submit, and there. All right. So for the next part of our presentation is we're gonna go ahead and create a virtual machine. So what's going on here? First of all, a virtual machine is also known as VM. According to Wikipedia, it's a virtual machine. It's a virtualization or emulation of a computer system. And then also, according to Google Cloud, it's a digital version of a physical computer. And I really like this definition, a digital version of a physical computer. For example, in your credit card, in your debit card, you have a digital version of the money you have. So it's pretty much it. So you can use it exactly the same way you can use cash. Of course, they cannot track you, but you have a couple ways around, but it's pretty much the same thing, same commodity and things like that. So that means since we treat it like a computer, also you have to configure it. So when it comes to a virtual machine configurations, you have to take into account a couple stuff. Like you have to choose a location. You can have multiple ones like North and South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and things like that. And all locations, they're divided into regions and regions into zones. So for regions, you're gonna have Oregon, Milan, Tel Aviv, and also for the zones, for example, in Oregon, you're gonna have the zone A, zone B, and zone C. When it comes to resources, of course, you're gonna have to pick a CPU, how much CPU you need, how much storage you're gonna need, how much memory you're gonna need, what operating system you're gonna use there, right? So, and that being said, talking about location, you have multiple places to pick from. Last time I checked, they were saying that we had 35 regions, 106 zones, 173 edges location, and then also present in more than 200 countries. And those are not like the data center themselves. They're more like regions, zones, and things like that. So in every zone, you're gonna have a lot of places there, a lot of nodes you can have, right? So that being said, is the location is very important in a way that when you want to buy a computer, for example, you have to check on a couple things like, hey, I'm looking for this computer. Is it available at Best Buy? Is it available at Target? Is it available at Walmart? Because you don't want to make a trip and get there, they don't have it. You start going to the other one, another one, and another one. You have just to check to make sure, hey, do they have it there? All right, so I'm gonna go to Best Buy. And Best Buy also, they have multiple locations. Which one are you gonna go to, right? Because it doesn't make sense to choose and say, hey, I'm gonna go and buy my MacBook in Virginia at Best Buy. You're gonna have to use a lot of resources. Like you have time, you have your gas money, unless you take a plane, but it's gonna cost you a lot. And also you're gonna use a lot of resources. Like you're gonna be tired and all that. So when you're doing that, talking about it, we can come here because it's more like it doesn't make sense. Of course, it's feasible, but it's not efficient. You can choose to host your computer or your virtual machine or whatever, let's say in Australia. So what you have to take into account is when you're here and you try to communicate with your computer, you're gonna see you have that latency because you have to send a signal and then it has to respond. So, and it's a long travel, has to route through a lot of nodes to get there and come back to you. And that's when you have latency right there. And also on the other side, also you have availability and durability. So when it comes to those two, it's more like sometimes, as we know, we don't like to store all our stuff in one storage. We like doing redundancy. So if something breaks down, we know we got backups. So you can store your VM in a redundant way. You can have it multiple places at the same time. And the good thing about it is if you have like a natural disaster happening, let's say you were storing something in Dubai and they had a sandstorm that destroyed like most of the things. So you know, like, okay, I still have something stored in England or in Canada and I can still rely on that. And that's a pretty good thing. And also when it comes to availability, it's also the same thing. But also I wanna try to extend it on something else because as I say, it's not because they have a lot of places that all the resources are available there. And that's gonna come, for example, right here. You're gonna have Montreal, that's gonna be in Canada. You're gonna have Toronto. You're gonna have Santiago and Sao Paulo. So the one thing is, you're gonna see Montreal and Sao Paulo. They have all those resources I have displayed right here when it comes to storage and database. But it doesn't make sense if you're working on a project, which is more like cloud storage and Firebase. You need some storage for that, and you pick Toronto and Santiago because they don't have that service over there. So when you pick in a place, you have to make sure, okay, do I have to take into account latency? Do I have to take into account durability? Do I have to take into account availability? Is the service I want to use available there? And there's a map for that. And also when you go, you have drop down menus that can tell you like, hey, I have this service over here and everything like that. It will never tell you to store a service or host a service on a data center where they don't provide it. That's the one thing. And that being said, we can start now to talk about our VM lab. So the VM lab we're gonna do today is we say that you have first to choose things like what operating system you're gonna use and things like that. And for this lab today, I chose to create a Windows server. And the one reason behind it is sometimes you're gonna be getting into a lab here at LSU and you wondering, hey, how come I'm using my login on all those computers where I've never been? So it's more like they have a Active Directory somewhere. It can be controlled by Azure or something like that. And they just log in, they put users. That's why they provide you with an email and a password at first, and then you change it and things like that. When you have problem with your password, you call the IT, they access those stuff, and then they can change the password, reset it, and things like that, right? And also that comes down to also the roles and policies we did. Because imagine you can access that and get everybody's password. I don't know what's gonna happen as a student, right? So, and then after doing that, we're gonna go ahead and access it using remote desktop protocol. So the RDP protocol, that's what we're gonna use to access our virtual machine. And the lab we're gonna do today, pretty much since you already opened the tab we had there, you should see, let me see this. Right here, the compute engine, quick starter right there. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and start the lab.
Because you have to be on
Don't worry, I can use my.
Oh, you didn't see this one?
Hmm?
It was off the screen.
Oh,
Not this one.
You shouldn't have to sign in, Alana. You should have that that signed out. Remember how we got the first
yep.
class?
So
Yeah, you have to go back to the tab that's not signed in.
yeah, that's where I was.
Like the one you were just on, Alana.
That's the one right here.
Okay, on the sheet.
No, not that one. If you go to that the Google site, do you see the Google site in your tabs? Yeah. The third tab. Yeah.
The third tab,
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, so create, you
I
put
already
that,
did this.
and then you re-put in the code. If I'm not, or if it's not re-put in the code, you're supposed to have this tab already open somewhere, and you just
Yeah.
keep going.
But it's all good. So, is it opening on your computers? Everybody have access to it?
I'm at the page where I can click start lab button.
All right, good. Is it working?
We basically just want to redo the step for each lab that we do.
All right, no problem. We can do that.
So it's to create a new username and password for each individual lab.
Yeah, that's what happens, and it generates one for you.
We can do that.
So we need to go back to the beginning.
No, because it's a unique password for everything.
Yeah. What was the process?
First I did just like,
And then you press enroll, right? And then
I don't have enough credits to start another lab.
yeah. Oh well.
I'm
And then you would enter the enroll thing, and then you would stay on the screen. You shouldn't have left it.
I'm not gonna say what.
You can try. It should work. The code should work for all day.
This lab costs 1 credit.
Yeah. Try re-enroll in it with the code, and it'll generate a new set.
Oh yeah, because I'm logged into my actual.
Yeah. So it won't work if y'all are logged in on your actual Google.
Then click enroll in space.
Exactly. But the thing is
Now I sign in, should I use my Gmail account?
it's supposed to give you that.
Enroll in this quest. Is that what you click next?
Yeah. But the thing is it was supposed to be this one. Yeah.
Which have a unique password.
Did you already delete it out of your clipboard?
Yeah, I did too.
And also the other way for it to work, you have to make sure that in your account you're not logged in into, you're not enrolled in any other.
So you enter the code here, right?
Yeah.
What ends up happening is it brings you to the it brings you here, right? And see how this one's checked off?
Yep.
You remember the screen you were on where it was checked off?
Maybe. Well, we're not signed into any account on this one right here.
When you yeah, see how it says you didn't finish it? It's because whenever you're given that first set of username and password, that's the same like student account.
So we gotta save that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Have you figured out all on it?
Yes, I'm trying to open this one, so.
See how you're still logged in.
Maybe try to go sign into the student account and do a password reset. Maybe it'll send it to mine.
Profile. Activity.
Oh. I didn't watch you. Hey.
So nobody has access yet.
This should give credits.
So we needed to keep track of that username and password we first had, didn't we?
I'm assuming yes. I was under the assumption that it never leaves. So the whole reason why they make you open it up in an incognito window
Yeah.
is so like, that's like this temporary Google account you're gonna be using in that window. You never wanna close out that window, go back to your main account, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It needs to stay on that incognito Quick Labs account, student account. And then you go step by step in the lab, and then since you're enrolled, you shouldn't have to use credits on any of them.
Why couldn't you,
I think I messed up.
oh, well, you first.
No,
I
go ahead.
don't think it creates a Google account, it creates a Google Cloud sandbox.
It creates a Google Cloud sandbox, but like in that incognito window.
Yeah, it gives you, like, I remember signing in with the fake account,
So,
but then,
so like, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
But like when you press Start Lab, it creates a cloud sandbox, and when you like finish the lab, the sandbox is closed. It closes the sandbox.
So what I was
Okay.
about to suggest
Real
is,
quick, but if it
why
requests,
couldn't
then they will
I
get the credits,
use
credits to take
our
any labs.
Google
So you
account,
should
or
just-
well, our personal one and not
See,
yours?
Check the credits. And
Right, we get credits for every lab that we complete. Why do we not just have 30 credits on our main account and then, right?
But we
and so then
completed
each lab we have
100%
credits.
completion.
You're right.
that makes sense, I think it's because they want it to be like, you're trying this out, so it's temporary versus,
But what is, so I guess I'm not trying to think, I don't know, you're an expert either, but I guess my question is, what are we trying, like, what's so bad that we don't want to store, right? If I'm gonna use this, and if I want this to be a routine tool that I use, right, would I not want to have credits, to have like safe tools, to have a VMware engine installed and all that stuff, so.
yeah, I think it's more so that they want you to pay for that, so you get like
And
the,
that's probably,
yeah,
I can see that being what it comes to.
cause it costs all of these things, and like, they make a lot of money off of their cloud infrastructure.
Well then, what if we just,
I entered the code again,
what if we just screw
Yeah,
that
it's not
and
gonna
then
work
just
like
go,
that.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm trying to
let's
see.
use this opportunity, you know, that we have here.
So,
to-
so according to like what they've told me, they say that after you complete the first like lab, that you should be able to get credits to be able to do any other labs that you want.
So if that's the case, which it looks like, at least maybe I've done it on accident, but I will get it. What's to say that we just can't get credits on our main account or just a universal, like my personal
Yeah.
email, and just like, because he thought that it was maybe Google's way of trying to save money, that way your temporary accounts get deleted and so do the credits. So what if we just screw that, put that aside?
Oh,
complete
how'd
this
you do it?
lab, get the credits?
how'd you do
No,
it?
this is still the first one. Yeah. So a way to troubleshoot that, you can go back into your account, right? You unroll the quest, right? And then you go again through the step, and then you log back in, and then you start the first lab just for 5 minutes, and then you close it.
So, just trying to process what you just said.
Alright.
So we end the lab.
I think you can
Right.
also
That's
request
early
like
ongoing,
education
which
credits.
we have a CO on the account. So
So
not gonna get
basically-
credits for that, right?
If you go here,
Yes.
you'll
Yeah.
see like,
So the main thing here, we're trying to get all the credit to access all the labs for free the whole
well,
month.
I've been using Google Cloud, but like.
And,
you go here,
Do you have your
also
account
go
open
down,
right
you'll
now?
have to fill out
Well,
information,
yeah,
they'll
well,
give you
it's,
200 free
right now it's on
So
my
the
main
thing
account.
is
Um,
I
Alright.
have to go through that.
So you're gonna keep using your main account.
So automatically it's set to
Huh?
when we
Yeah,
finish
that's the
first
one we're gonna
lab,
use.
y'all
So
should
to
also-
This is
access,
my personal one, right? You can
Yeah.
see my account, I just wanna make sure.
yeah,
That's
you
not
have to use your
wrong.
personal one, but when you wanna log, because every time you open the console, they ask you now for credentials, and that's when you put the one they generated. So everything goes in your main account.
Unenroll
Okay.
and re-enroll,
Something
right?
else I was
If
thinking
you
about,
are,
'cause
we're
I
already
used to-
enrolled, right, then
So I'll
bring
be
you to
honest,
that,
and I'll just give the same
that then
information.
goes to
now,
the
so
one that you want.
I used to be a script kid growing up, I don't know what that
Enroll,
means.
be prompted
Yeah,
to
I
the
know, I
code,
know.
Okay,
And the code will only be
don't
active
tell the
if
others.
you're done.
And
Sign in,
so,
Google
because I
Store,
know
Cloud
that
Skill
certain
Credentials,
software can be
temporary
hazardous,
ones to work,
Yep.
I would create a VMware or virtual box.
Then click
That what I do too.
I would create an instance, right?
Yeah.
Try to like
Did
have
we
a
miss
wall
this
security.
part?
Well, the problem was because I can
It
only
might be a
allocate so
different
many
role.
floors
I think
to the
Sign in
virtual
Google
instance,
Skills Boost
the game, I
credentials.
mean, it worked and it did what I want,
Mm.
Like,
but it was
it's
crappy.
still, I think it's
Okay.
has
So,
to be
so what I was,
associated
so I guess what I'm
with
asking is,
a Google
because
account.
this is different than VMware, I
when
see
you
there's a VMware
click
engine,
start, it
but
opens
what we're
Cloud
learning here
Sandbox
is
to have
different than
both your
VMware.
Yeah.
right?
So.
And I'm
what
assuming
thinking-
they follow along.
What I'm wondering is
It's fair.
if we
But I'm
are
assuming
taking system
that like everyone
resources,
just follows
Yeah.
what they're supposed to do, like whenever the
Right.
sandbox.
could we
whenever
theoretically
it gives
allocate
you
enough
the
cores
credentials
where we
and you
get
put that into
performance to where
The sandbox.
something.
Yeah, sure.
Whenever you
100%.
it'll close that out.
So
Close that
every
out.
time, so the one reason for what we're doing here, it's pretty much free. That's why you see like it's pretty much like straightforward and things like that. So we're just going through it. As I say,
Oh,
yeah. So usually what you do, you're gonna see when I clicked on the API, they had the price right there, right?
Yeah.
So it's more like the more resources you get, that's how much they're gonna charge you.
So
The-
what's the baseline for system resources? I imagine it's not great, but.
So usually it's more like you're getting the resource per month. So the one thing when it's active, right? There's a fee based on activity, and then when you put it into sleep, right? When you hibernate it,
So
the cost goes down.
Your mileage varies depending on how long it's running.
Yeah, yeah.
So there isn't essentially a free instance, it's just as long as you are using it, depending on how
But the
much you
thing
use
is,
it.
Alright.
use it.
Yeah. So look at it this way. You have your computer at home, and then you give me your VPN. I access it. I access your computer. I install VMware on it, and then I put a operating system there. And with the steps, I can choose if I want to put how much CPU I want to put with it and everything like that. So that's pretty much the same thing, but they give you a portal to do it. Right, so it's pretty much that, because the lab we're about to do right now, we're gonna have the web server right there, and then we're gonna access it using RDP, which gonna be pretty much the same thing.
Well, I mean, we're thinking, because every account's supposed to get granted 200 credits
Yeah.
off of the completion of the first lab, which we did.
Yeah.
So my assumption is you have to go and answer all the questions, even though it says 100% after, and it gives you the green check.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to answer every question on there before it'll give you the credits. Because we followed the steps to the T. Like they said to give you all the code. Once you finish the first one, you get awarded credits, and the credits will then allow you to follow our other workshops, our other labs. And then every month you get a new set of credits. But I don't know what's going on right now.
How do you move this?
What if you email Google and ask them to give everyone here 2 million credits,
Yeah.
and then you just do whatever you want with them?
I wish. I'd use them all. I'd keep them to myself. Go back. I want to go to continue. Scroll down. Go to the first one that you finished. The first one that you finished.
This one.
You don't have credits, right?
Me?
Double check.
On this one, let's see.
Okay, good.
No.
Scroll back down. The first one you completed. And then go down. Start lab real quick.
Start lab?
Yeah,
I did
start.
already.
And then
Oh,
go
to
down.
answer the questions?
Yeah, go down and just answer them.
So there's gonna be credit.
No. Nice.
What is this?
It'll probably be start.
Oh, start
Start,
button.
Uh,
0 temporary. You lose access, yes.
Tracking.
Yes, they do have the activity tracking. Or to receive credit.
Oh yeah, see, it literally is one of the questions. It literally
So
is-
you go through all this.
That's when we get it. One of the questions is literally you can't get credits until you do all the questions.
Wow.
So
Wow. How cool.
So let's see.
system admin.
I mean, we assumed that if it gave you 100%, because when we experimented with this before coming here today, it worked for us. So-
What field is not found? System.
But we got a
admin.
different email specifically for
Then
us.
this resembles to. And then here organization.
Cloud project.
I think I got all of the questions. If you wanna.
Resources, to share.
Have at it. I'm kind of rushing through, but
Which one you cannot delete or modify. Read only. So, master.
I can go over the time.
Oh, that's
No,
awesome.
I'm just in line.
Let's go here. Sorry.
Let's try it back.
Hmm?
Oh, this didn't pop up last time.
So if I finish all the questions, can
Right.
I end the lab? Allow me?
Yep.
If I finish all the questions, can I end the lab?
I don't think so because you see here the check process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went and did it again.
You did it?
Yeah,
All right, that's good. You can end it
okay.
because you cannot access another lab if you have it open. Basic permission.
That says begin. Can you put something that says view?
Oh, here, permission.
Okay, is there like a part two?
This permission and actions such as pending existing does not be editor. So it's
that
like
was
here.
Well, can I do this one? I'm not a guru, but I just noticed something. So if we go here, so it says 6 credits. So I'm not thinking that you.
See, I don't know why you're
So-
not enrolled.
So, well,
There you-
that's, we expected out of it, maybe. One of this, so it is. So this is pretty.
No, this is to the whole quest. So this whole thing is like a bunch of labs.
If we get 1 credit for each one.
Yeah.
That we did not get. We didn't do anything with that.
As in like it's free.
Yeah.
No, I get that. So what happens
Oh,
is
sorry, that's the cost. I thought that was
Yeah.
the reward.
no.
I'm scared
So,
to end the
Yeah.
lab.
yeah, no, so this is how it's
Because it says
So
if
you
I
enroll
end
in
it,
quest,
Hmm?
and then
it says
after
if
you
I
enroll in
end the lab,
quest,
I'll
the
lose
first
all
one's
my
always
work and it might be a quota.
And then once you complete the first
So-
Yeah,
one,
so the working
and
is
you
more
get
like what you've been
100%,
doing on the cloud.
you will get
Are you
granted
going first, too?
Yeah.
your credits.
Like in that
And then
session.
that lets
I
you
know, I'm scared
go.
to end it because
Yeah,
I don't know.
For some reason, obviously,
Here.
I tried it and it cost a credit. I have to do a caption too.
But like here, you're even asking for an enroll code.
Bro, some of them be hard. Like I don't even know.
Imagine
what
your
shit
job as
is.
a developer is
I did do
to create captions.
I think I'm not. So maybe just remember it. That's my guess. That should be. Nope, that's passwords. That's Brad Practice on the number. I trust you, that is good.
Oh, it's yeah. Wait, go back. Can we? So like now you're like, so what happened to this just now? Like, all of a sudden you check it off. Let's see if you have a question.
It's so confusing. It's signing me back into.
Why is this all of a sudden you check it off?
Technically, the difficulties in the.
Now it's down to
Better time than ever.
A what?
yeah, I'm looking for a quick support side of that. So
It even takes them 2 weeks to learn that.
Already?
It's
7:08.
better than some companies.
So
If y'all want, if we can't get this working,
you know what I'm gonna do?
6:30.
I'm gonna go ahead and log in using my account and that just go through the lab.
They're not gonna be able to follow it.
So I'll work like 8 to 12, just get it out the way.
Oh yeah.
If you want, I have an idea.
You say you
We
were
can
IT,
fix
right?
this, and then we could do it next
What do you
time.
do there?
I can,
Right now?
I was gonna say I could show like real quick because we have until 7:30. If you want, I could try to show them like how to create a free VM
It's talking about the one
Yeah,
that's like.
what I can do
using
is-
free tier. Have you ever used like the free tier part of Google Cloud or AWS?
No. I was saying like I can try just to go and
It's up to you. Either
do it
or.
very quick using my
Okay.
account so people can just follow along. Right.
Okay.
So all these
What I'm
cables,
gonna do would be
trace
just to go
them from
ahead.
here to here for every cable.
That sounds so tedious.
If you think that's bad, let me find a picture from Tiger Stadium. I did last
That's
year.
weird though because we should have gotten the credits right after.
Yes, so that's pretty weird.
That's a network racking in
Oh,
Tiger
it looks like
Stadium.
a
So-
creature.
I think it has something to do with.
You had to trace every last one of those.
Yep. Oh, that one.
So I'm gonna use just my login.
Coworkers, and we split that one up.
Like you're gonna use the free credits you got.
Yeah,
That one, something else.
just to show what's going on.
So guys, real quick, you let me know that you can request like educational credits, and it's kind of like the same thing. You get 200 credits, except unlike ours, we kind of give you 200 credits every month, right? That's a one-time 200 credits, but at least maybe you could have some credits to play at home with until we get it figured out or whatnot. But Olame is gonna log into his account with some credits on it, and he's gonna try to do the workshop just real quick,
Yep.
and then hopefully y'all be able to like at least like get the steps right, and then maybe you can try to recreate it on your own at home. And if y'all have any questions about this stuff, y'all can ask me on the Discord. I'll be happy to answer any of them.
All right. So here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and start this lab. So yeah, I have to do the credit for that. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, so here we go. We have the credentials right here. So we're gonna do the same thing. We open the console, and what we have to do, we take this. Where is it? Right here. I have a lot of tabs open here. I don't even know which one it is. The console. Where did the console go? Let me close this and then reopen it. Alright, good. So I'll go ahead. Pick one. Okay, so the password. And here we go. I understand. No thanks. There we go. Yes. So as we said, you're gonna have here the whole thing. So they're gonna show you here the project name, because when you create your own, you're gonna have to give a name to it. So you have the project number and the project ID. So most of it right now, they're all generated. So since today, like for this lab, we're gonna try to create a virtual machine. So that's gonna be a compute engine resource, and you're gonna have here VM instance. So we have to create an instance right here. So, and then you're gonna see when it comes here, you go ahead, you click create. And when you create right there, you're gonna have, it's gonna start generating, and then you're gonna have this one. You're gonna have the name right here. You can rename it if you want. They're gonna show you the cost right here, and they tell you how much hourly. That's to answer your question. So pretty much you're gonna see here, they tell you like for 2 CPU, 4 gigabyte memory, 10 gigabyte balanced and everything. So they tell you already the cost right there. So for our case, we're gonna go east. So South Carolina right there. So we're gonna keep it to be right here. And then when it comes to the series, you can see here they tell you like, hey, CPU platform selection base and everything. So for this lab, we're advised to go with the N1, which is more like the powered by Intel Skylake. So that's the one we're gonna have. It's a 1 CPU, 3.75 gigabytes memory. So it's only $25. So and based on that, we go to the boot disk. So here is more like when you're giving resources, you already have the storage, you already have all those stuff. Now you want to give like, hey, what operating system I'm gonna use on it. So here on operating system, you can see everything that is available. You can have a lot of distros right here. CentOS, usually they do it for Apache servers and things like that. And Fedora, it's more like a Linux-based. Red Hat, you can use all this. So even Ubuntu if you want. So right now we're gonna go with a Windows Server. So when you go with Windows Server, you also have a lot of options right here. So you're gonna have the server 2022 data center and everything like that. For our case, we're gonna go with the R2 here data center. So that's gonna be the one they recommend us to do for this quest. And when you click that, you go ahead, you select. We have 50 gigabyte size. And after that, you can leave everything default. If you want, you can change it. But you can go and you can see already how much you were supposed to pay if you wanted to put it up there, right? So we go ahead, you create. So when it creates, it's gonna go ahead, create the instance. Let's wait for it to finish. All right, good. So once you're here, usually since you're gonna see here, you have the RDP, which is remote desktop protocol. So what we have to do is to make sure that we have credential, we have to enable it. So the way to access it, you go up here to open to activate your Cloud Shell. And what you're gonna do is it's gonna load. They're gonna give you a couple instructions and everything. You're gonna see here. They're gonna tell you something like your cloud platform project. It's set, and that's the my username, if we can say it that way. So usually when it comes to that, let me try just to copy this. So you have also, it's pretty much a shell, so you have to go using commands. So people used things like a shell, bash script, or CMD, like you have to go through command to execute some stuff. And here also it's pretty much just different vocabularies. And for this one, for example, I can go ahead and pass this here. For some reason it didn't work, so you're gonna have gcloud compute. That's gonna be the resource we're gonna use. And then you have to specify what instance you want to use. So you get the serial port output, and the instance we have is going to be instance 1, and that one you can see it right here. All right,
You misspelled output. O-U-T-P-U-T.
oh, thank you. All right, so we go ahead, we authorize it, and let's put no. There we go. So the most important thing is gonna be this line right here. It's ready to use. So from here now, the next thing will be to go and set our credentials. And the way to do it, there is also a command for that. You go, you're gonna put gcloud compute, and then reset Windows passwords, and then what you're gonna do, the instance gonna be instance 1, and after that we're gonna have the zone we're using right now, which is US East 1B. So if you remember, when it comes to location, already it's US. So East, it's somewhere in the eastern part. So East 1 is gonna be more North Carolina, and then you're gonna have the B just to specify what zone we're using right now. So and then after that, the user we're gonna have gonna be admin. Pretty straightforward. So after that, let's see if it's gonna run it. So admin, let's put yes, I want to reset it, and let's see what's gonna happen. If everything goes fine, we're gonna have credentials, and here you go. They tell you here, you have your IP address, you have the password, and you have the username. So when you get there, now that's when we need a couple tools. Those are external tools. If you want to access it using a Windows computer, you can just research. You just do a simple search and you look for a remote desktop connection. So there you're gonna have it gonna tell you like, hey, give me the IP address you want to connect to. And then if you're using Apple or a MacBook, you can go ahead, you can download Microsoft Remote Desktop. It's pretty safe. So it's on App Store. You can get it easily. And actually, that's the one I would advise when you want to do this. And on Chrome OS, also it's built in. You just type RDP as a research. So when you're searching. So, and then from here, we have all this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and open. I already have it installed right here. So it's going to load. Just give me a couple seconds right here. Yes. Access camera, no. I don't want you to access my camera. Alright, so what we're going to do, let's do this. So, I want to change the screen I'm sharing to. Wait, Adam, how do you change the screen you're sharing?
You should just be able to probably stop the share and then just reshare it, to be honest.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Right here. So this is the one I want to share. Good. So when you get here,
Click on new share up top.
Oh,
It's coming through on
yeah,
the screen.
should be good. Should be good.
Okay.
That's what I want you to
Can
see.
you widen the window up? It's a little narrow on the screen.
Yeah, actually, that's how it is because the one thing is, you just need to see it like that. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab credentials from here. So we have the credentials right here. We're gonna put it here. So when I'm finished doing that, you're gonna see we're gonna open a whole desktop, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, add a PC, and the first thing they're gonna ask me will be a host name, can be like a domain name or something like that, or you can go with an IP address. And the one thing you can find it right here, or if you want, here in your console, you can go ahead and open your session, and then you go in your instance, you can see also the internal and external IP. So internal, it's more like everybody who's in the same subnet, they can communicate with it. And when you go external, that's for everybody who's not on site, right? So for this, we're gonna go with this IP address right here. We'll go ahead and, I don't know, it works. I hope it works for copy. Yeah. So we go ahead and copy, we add it, and then we launch it. So it's gonna ask for a username, and the username is admin. That's the username we had, and then we have a password that was generated right here. Let's take it the whole thing, and we go back. Where did I have it? I think I lost it. All right, good. And we put the password, and we continue. We accept the certificate, and you should be opening the computer. And connecting. Here we go. So we have a computer based in North Carolina right now. We're opening, and we can manage everything right now. So this is more, as I said, you can manage resources, you can create an account. That's when you go add roles, features, and everything. You can add a group, and when we talked about roles and policies, that's when you give those roles when it comes to Active Directory. And the version I have right here, it's pretty much free. Yeah.
So when you create this virtual machine, I just wanted to ask you personally, what do you think, like a students like us, what could we use this to do?
This one?
Yeah.
So as I said, when I was doing the talk, it's more like you just pay for the resources you need, right? So it's more okay. I don't wanna first project I'm gonna work on just for 30 days or just for 10 or a week. Instead of going and buying $1,000 computer, I prefer just going on a cloud, allocate a couple memories, and pay $60 and finish my project, and that's gonna be it. I close the computer and that's it. So it's more, you can put it that way, or if you have like a very big project that require a lot of tools that you won't be able to do, because it's not every student who can go out there and buy like a whole server and put like in their room. It's not every student who can go out there and buy like a RAID array and put in their room. So it's more like what you're interested in, and if you want just to go straight to the point, finish with something, and you know like, hey, I don't want to use it anymore. It's more like when you go and do a rental on a car, you're like, okay, I'm gonna just get something here in Puerto Rico just to go around. I don't need to buy a whole car. So it's pretty much like that.
Can I add something to it?
Yeah.
So like what I found super helpful, for example, I'm in CSC 3380, which is like a project-based class, and one of the big things that he said was availability, right? So if you're hosting, so for us, we did a website, right? You can easily host a website on your computer, right? Are you about to leave your computer plugged in, screen open all day, every day to have your website online? As soon as you close it, it's going offline, right? So like me, you could, if y'all want, y'all could literally look up pecanpie.online, that's like our project name, and it's online right now, because I have it on an instance, on a virtual machine in the cloud, and it just stays running, right? So our website's available, and even though it's a small school project, right? So like it's really helpful in terms of, you know, kind of like what Alame said, you're not using your own resources, but that could come in clutch in many different scenarios, whether it's availability, durability, and what was the other one?
Latency.
And latency, right? If you had an issue with latency, which that would be more of a problem in bigger
Yeah,
enterprises,
exactly.
like what you mentioned. But for me, the thing I liked for students was availability, right? You can host a you're never full stack in my opinion until you can learn some cloud, because that'll handle a lot of the DevOps for you.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Really useful.
Yeah, just a few other things you can build off of this with. A lot of different companies, they like to have their own development environments, and that's mostly just due to the tools that they might use whenever they're developing different pieces of software or different areas within an overarching service set. And a lot of these tools and dependencies that these big companies that like to use, they're only compatible with certain OSs. So, for instance, if you're a Mac or a Windows user, and you might need Linux or something to run some of your development tools, maybe your computer's not powerful enough to run something like VMware or whatnot, or you just want to have a complete workstation set up on the cheap to where you can have all your tools in one place. Using a virtual machine like this to have your own development environment could also be a good solution to look at. Obviously, $60 for a development environment where you're not necessarily using it to host something is a little bit steep, but all these concepts that we've been going over tonight regarding cloud in terms of availability, being able to host a virtual machine in the cloud and accessing it like we're doing now, this is true across pretty much all cloud service providers as well. This is not just exclusive to Google Cloud, so.
And most have free tier.
Yeah.
I think they don't have a single cloud provider without a free tier.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I literally, for all of my projects, like in my higher level classes, every single one, I spin up a virtual machine in the cloud and work there. Why? Because if you have, imagine how many projects you've had to do npm install, right? Install dependencies, install packages, right? Those can get confused and they can start breaking the more projects you have, and you'll try your hardest to separate the files, right? Make sure like all the dependencies I need are just in this location, but even then it could get too overwhelming. So I literally just boot up a VM in the cloud and then install everything I need for that project, do my project, and then terminate the VM when I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I
Say what
like
you want.
that. That's really smart.
Yeah,
So
it's
like
nice.
exactly. So it could really be helpful even if you're not like a big enterprise business. as a student.
You pay as you go.
And that's, on top of that, I mean, that's the reason why that you see a lot of companies that are starting to ditch all of their on-premises data centers. Like at LSU, we're starting to, like, everyone knows how terrible the, student scheduling system is.
Yeah.
God awful. Runs on an old IBM mainframe. Well, that's actually getting moved to the cloud soon with Workday Student. And so, in addition to giving a better experience to all students, we're not going to have to pay to upkeep this ancient machine that we have to get parts from eBay to keep up and running. And from a more conventional standpoint, I mean, just having servers around a business just to keep your normal day-to-day systems, whether it's like Active Directory, different authentication systems, or like file servers, that gets really expensive. I mean, you gotta remember you're paying for the server, you're paying for the hardware, you have to pay for all the upgrades, the licensing, and you have to pay employees to keep up with that, in addition to paying things like electric bill, cooling bill, and any costs that come with running an on-prem data center. This gets massively reduced whenever you start introducing a cloud environment into your tech stack.
Yeah, that's good.
Well knowledgeable, very knowledgeable on the subject.
How many VMs can we run at the same time?
You can run a lot.
As
You
much
don't
as you
have,
pay for.
yeah, it's in different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
As
many
much as you wanna
as
pay
m-
for.
as many as you want to pay for.
So that's the beauty of cloud,
Yeah.
is it's auto scaled. So if you have a project, on Sundays, only one person visits your website. But on Fridays, 1,000 people visit your website, right? A normal system, you'll pay for your software to always handle 1,000. In cloud, when you have 1,000 visitors, you have enough VM instances to handle 1,000 visitors. If you only have one, it scales down automatically, so you only pay for that one, right? Which is really a good thing about the system, like in the business mindset, right?
So was that designed like that, or is that just a natural feature that is designed?
Yeah.
It's on purpose. Okay.
Yeah, they put a lot of research into
Yeah.
like task scheduling methods. It's actually like pretty complex how they do it. But yeah, it auto makes, it clones, so the virtual machine you made, it will clone it and duplicate it.
In real time, it just,
Yeah,
like that. That one
Oh,
spins up.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I did not.
that's cloud computing
I've
in a
never
nutshell.
taken a cloud class or anything, so I learned a lot today.
No, cloud's really cool too, and like you, you can go on the cheapest end you want and get the most tiniest like speck of rice virtual machine you want, and then like this summer we were working with Microsoft Azure at my internship. You can go all the way up to high performance computing, which is like some of the best of the best. One of my coworkers this summer was working on a project that would collect telemetry data from a bunch of NVIDIA GPUs that they would use to run like different calculations on huge data sets of like oil wells and whatnot. So you can go as little as you want, or you can go top of the line, almost computer level with cloud.
And also
Like I said, it all
another
depends
thing,
how much money you want to spend.
it's all about resources. So right now we looked at the virtual machine. You can go like with things for artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data. You have all the resources you need to go with it. So it's more like our last workshop was on Flutter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can also access it there. You can do a lot of stuff with that, and also you realize that we had also one of the cloud storage using Firebase and things like that. So it's more about what you need. You just get what you need and you go with it.
Yeah.
So these are still like, all the information that's stored in the cloud is still stored on a physical server somewhere, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just like a major corporation, so they have
Exactly.
huge, like access to huge amounts of like